Wildlife photography is one of the most challenging forms of photography, such as being able to expose correctly. Wildlife photographers generally need good fieldcraft skills. For example, some animals are difficult to approach, and thus a knowledge of animals' behavior is needed in order to be able to protect its actions. And birds are the wonderful subjects in wildlife photography.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ramakrishnaiah, Bangalore-based professor of biotechnology, a very passionate nature and wildlife photographer. Today in the cosmopolitan world, we all are preset to race against targets and deadlines. And of course, we keep doing the routine time and again. Life soon becomes monotonous. I just wanted to break this monotony and do something that really gives me freedom and joy. And I became a wildlife photographer. Though I loved being outdoors since childhood and made endless treks to the forest, I think I only started to realize and appreciate the beauty of nature so intimately after seeing through my lenses. My first camera was Nikon D80 100-300mm f4 Sigma lens. My first outing was Bandipur National Park. Though I was fortunate to see tiger in my first trip late in the evening, I was not able to make decent image of the tiger. It taught me a lesson. That is, the key in wildlife photography is to have the right kind of equipment. In fact, I was an avid trekker, and therefore nature photography seemed a perfect choice for me. The fact that I love traveling and visiting remote locations with camera to record some of the fascinating moments has added a lot of impetus to my photographic journey. By now, I have traveled quite a lot throughout the country in search of images that capture the essence of our natural world, especially wildlife. I have heard people often saying that it is not the equipment, but the man behind the equipment is the one who is making great images. I disagree. For wildlife photography, both are really important. When I locate a good background and a good location for my photography, I don't mind waiting for hours for some animals to move in. This is how some of my great images are approached. If I look back on my photographic journey so far, I've been honored with the ARPS of the Royal Photographic Society, London, and EFF from the Federation of International Art of Photography, France. My photographs over the years have appeared in numerous exhibitions around the world and have won 15 international gold medals in international exhibitions. My nomination to the finals of the BBC Wildlife Photographer of the Year and winning a Nature Biennial Gold Medal in Norway are my personal best. These days, I intend to blend my field biology and scientific knowledge in my photography. When we talk about wildlife, I'm extremely passionate about birds, particularly small birds, mainly because they are a challenging subject for me. They make you work hard to get a decent image. They're extremely small, so that makes your job more difficult because you have to approach them very from close quarters. And the fact that they are extremely shy is another challenge. And since they are very small and agile, it's extremely difficult to freeze their actions. So these are the challenges, and I loved this challenge, and I worked specifically on small birds. I'm extremely passionate. In nature photography, shots really don't come to the places where we are standing. Therefore, it is important that we need to walk long distance, find your own locations to make some specific images. Off-road vehicles will be very handy to shoot specific images of birds and mammals. There are plenty of occasions where we need to go off-road to shoot. Many times, we need to negotiate difficult terrains to reach places for specific images. Once we are back from the field, there is a lot of table work to do. We sit and review our images critically. When we come across a very good image, it gives a lot of happiness and satisfaction. This is one of the reasons why we do wildlife photography. In the process, we also try and figure out the mistakes we did while capturing these images. When we come across specific images where we have done mistakes, we try and make sure that we don't make those mistakes again when we are out in the field. And this is how we try and improve our photography. Photography is all about a lot of trial and error. We learn from our mistakes. When we photograph small birds, many of these small birds are extremely shy, so you can't approach them directly. One of the best method is to actually set up your camera and trigger with a remote. And I have photographed some of these birds using remote. When we set up the remote and shoot, most of the camera controls will not be there in your hand. So you will have to always shoot with a preset setting. If the condition changes, if cloud formation comes, if the light goes off, if the light increases, you don't have option of making any camera setting changes. These are some of the real challenges when we use remote. At the same time, focusing is extremely critical. Whether to use continuous focus, autofocus, or to pre-focus and shoot. If you pre-focus and shoot, you never know where the bird will come and land, and whether it's going to be in focus or if it is not going to be in focus. So these are real challenges when we work on small birds, especially with the remote trigger. But with all these difficulties, when you make images which are outstanding, that gives you a lot of satisfaction. That's the pleasure that we get in photography. If you see this image, the play of light is the specialty here. In field, we come across overcast and rainy conditions. It gives limitless possibilities to make special images. Such conditions are good for capturing the mood of the moment. In such conditions, safety of the equipment is very important. When we photograph birds out in the open, we need to be extremely careful that we don't scare away the bird. Slightest moment, slightest of sound, you may scare away the bird. So you're going to miss your subject. The key is make sure that you approach slowly. When the bird is actually not seeing you, you try and move towards the bird very quickly and briskly. If the bird sees that you are moving, stop and make sure that you don't move further. Okay. Then likewise you can approach. And another important thing is the safety of the subject is critical. So we need to respect the subject safety. Working on birds in a deep evergreen forest like this is a lot of hard work and challenge. It's hard work because we don't get these birds on proper perches. The lighting conditions won't be appropriate, and the background you don't have the option of choosing a background, and that makes it really challenging. But the fun part of it is these are incredible birds, and we generally don't get to photograph them outside, and this is the only place to photograph these birds, and this is something which is very fascinating. Of course, who don't want to photograph tiger? Tiger is another big cat which I worked reasonably well. I must say, it's one of the most beautiful cat on earth, and I'm extremely passionate about our national animal. According to me, Bandhavgarh in Madhya Pradesh is one of the best destinations to see and photograph tigers, probably in the world. Again, repeated visits to the sandy banks of river Kaveri near Mysore have helped me in understanding their behavior, and that has really helped me in making such great images. Red munia or the strawberry finch is one bird which I really wanted to photograph. It nearly took more than 2 years for me to work on that bird, and finally I succeeded in making some decent images. What I really impressed about this bird is not only the color and beauty of this bird, but the behavior of the bird is so fascinating. I have seen this bird carrying charcoal into its nest, so probably this is the first record. I have not seen anybody showing images of a strawberry finch carrying charcoal, and I mean these are unreported behavior of birds. People often ask me, why are you spending so much of time and money? It's a tough question. The only answer I can give, I do it for passion. I mean, I'm trying to rediscover myself as a person through my photographic work.